Welcome back to the channel. I'm canoeing Maligne Lake in Jasper National Park. And if you look behind me, there's a moose. Okay, welcome back to the channel. I'm currently in Maligne Lake in Jasper National Park in Alberta. And it is very beautiful. But I need to start with saying that I totally screwed this canoe trip up. I was supposed to be camping at Coronet Creek, which is the furthest end of this campsite. It was supposed to be a 22-kilometer canoe camp, and then I was coming back tomorrow. But for some crazy reason, I don't know what I did, but I screwed up and I picked the wrong campsite. And apparently I picked Hidden Cove, which is 4 kilometers away, which for me, not even worth putting in the canoe for 4 kilometers. So last night when I discovered this, as a last second check of my reservation, I got very mad, and honestly I was stewed over it all night, had a terrible sleep, and I woke up late. But the only way to save today is to canoe all the way to Spirit Island and back all in one go. Spirit Island is like the most photographed island in the world, and it's what Maligne Lake is known for, so we have to get there. Period. While Spirit Island might not actually be the most photographed island in the world, it is claimed to be the most photographed spot in all of the Canadian Rockies. And judging by how many tourist boats I'm about to get passed by today, I'm gonna assume that that is true. Either way, it's gonna be a great destination to salvage this day from my own stupidity. As I mentioned, this was supposed to be a one-nighter, end-to-end paddle of the Jewel of Jasper, Maligne Lake. I had been looking forward to this for months, yet I still blew it. I made the wrong reservation and somehow didn't notice until the day before. What an idiot. Add that to the stack of other unforced errors, the bad weather I've had, and my big summer van life road trip feels like it's starting to get away from me. It feels like I've been running uphill the whole time, trying to chase it instead of being in control of my own race. But today, it's going to be a punishment run. At 14 kilometers from the launch point, according to the sign at least, Spirit Island is absolutely further than I want to paddle on a day trip. But after totally blowing it, getting all down on myself, the only way to really salvage this day is to do a very long day trip to Spirit Island and back. It's not going to be easy, but I did put myself in this situation, and I'm going to have to paddle myself out of it. But hey, there's definitely worse situations to be in. Okay, major update here. I have gone 7.75 kilometers, and I'm in a way better mood now than when I started. First of all, I guess getting out and like moving around helped my mood. But more importantly, like just how outrageous this place is. It is spectacular in every direction. And I'm just happy to be here. Even though I did not get my exact, my exact destination, I'm still just, whatever I do today, I'm happy with it. And I think we're going to get to Spirit Island and enjoy it. So I'm about halfway. I just came to this shoreline here. I cut this corner pretty straight, and I just needed a break. And more importantly, I needed to eat. So I got a turkey sandwich here that I made in the van, and we're gonna eat this, paddle on the shore, and just kind of take it easy for a few minutes here, and then get back to it, because we do have a long way to go. It doesn't get dark until like 9:30, so if I happen to be on the lake until 9:30, it would be fine. But I would like to be turned around by about 3 or 4 from that from Spirit Island. After getting refueled on turkey sandwiches, I was back on my way to Spirit Island, as I don't really have any time to waste. This is going to be one of my longest day paddles I've ever done, and even though I know I have the distance in me and the daylight, I still wanted to push to Spirit Island as soon as possible. As beautiful as Maligne Lake is, it still is a really big lake with cold water in the mountains
in the very real wilderness of Jasper National Park. So we'll fit in a little public service announcement here that just because I'm paddling to Spirit Island on a day trip doesn't necessarily mean that you can. Know your limit, paddle within it, and always respect your turnaround time.
So we are currently passing by an island. I do not believe it is Spirit Island. We are at 12.5 kilometers, and we're aiming for 14 as per the sign. So we're getting close to Spirit Island, but I believe just a regular island. It is picturesque, but not world-class picturesque. So we're going to keep going, and I feel like we are getting close, so I'm excited.
As I close in on Spirit Island, Maligne Lake narrows substantially. It's a lake in 3 parts. 2 big open water sections on each side of a bulbous middle section, separated on either side by the Sampson Narrows. Spirit Island resides just before the second part of the Sampson Narrows widens back into the lake, somewhere which I think I'm approaching now.
Okay, so we are passing another island that I do not believe is Spirit Island. I think we're going to be over here on this side. So I'm going to cross over while it is narrow and there are no boats. And yeah, I think we're getting close. We're at like 13 kilometers or something like that, but who knows how accurate that is compared to the note on the map. So either way, I'm going to cross when safe. So many of these boats. Anyways, I'm going to cross, and then next stop, Spirit Island.
From here, I crossed over to the Spirit Island side of the lake, and I don't really know what I was expecting, but I didn't really see this epic, photogenic spot coming. In fact, I saw this very nondescript Parks Canada sign that marked my arrival.
Well, I have officially made it to Spirit Island. If you look over there, the sign says stop, no access, spiritual and fragile habitat. And you can see those guys looking at it. And it's not really even an island, it's a peninsula. But pretty sweet, I guess. And you got a nice view there, a view there. This whole lake has had incredible views, but I think we're gonna spin around this thing and see if we can get a good angle, see what the big deal is about it. I'm assuming those guys are in the spot to take a good photo. And then we're gonna turn back because it's still, we're only halfway because we gotta turn around and head back. So take some photos, take some video, and then we'll be back in the paddle.
So I round Spirit Peninsula, being careful not to get too close, because I have heard that these tour boat captains will cause a scene if they see you getting too close to their peninsula.
Well, I have officially pulled up next to Spirit Island. That is the island there, technically a peninsula. Canoes there, but over here is where they landed the big old tour boat. And then there's this little walkway thing. So I figure I can walk up there and probably get a view. I'm assuming there's a viewpoint, so that's where we're headed now. So it is very nice, I will say. Nice view on this little platform here. Very good view. I don't know if it's the most picturesque spot in the world, most picturesque island in the world. Nice spot though, but I'm glad I came out here. I'm glad I canoed, but I'm gonna take in this view for a few more minutes. But I got a header. This is I got a long paddle on the way back, so I'm not going to take too much time here enjoying Spirit Island. I am going to hit the road. Okay, we're back at the canoe and we're going to header. I got one more turkey sandwich which I'm going to eat on the go. But with that being said, I have felt more wind here than I have the whole rest of the day. So hopefully that doesn't pick up, but if it does, hopefully it's a tailwind, which is what it would be, unless it changes. But either way, we're gonna get in this canoe, go around Spirit Island, hop onto the other side, real quick to the other side, because that'll be the shortest distance I've seen, is right across there. Now we're gonna head that whole shoreline up. I'd not bring my battery charger, so I might run out of footage here. But with that being said, we have now experienced Spirit Island, and now we gotta experience the 15K home.
Well, it's all fun and games until you have to turn around and go home. With a grand total of 31 kilometers that I had to canoe this day, we absolutely still had a long way to go. My time at Spirit Island was brief, but I had enough time there to both get it and not get it. Sure, it was nice, and obviously I took some photos at the most photogenic spot in the Canadian Rockies. But Spirit Island did kind of leave me wanting more. I don't think it lived up to the considerable amount of hype that it had. First of all, it wasn't an island, it was a peninsula. And if you're gonna sell me on a sacred island, it better be an island, and it better be the highlight of the trip, which to me, it wasn't. The whole lake itself was the highlight of the trip. Maligne Lake is an absolute stunner. From its vibrant blue water to the mountain peaks that surround it in all directions, Maligne Lake will be a place that I won't soon forget. What started as a day-saving paddle to Spirit Island turned out to be one of my favorite days of my big summer van life road trip. And with the rain starting to fall, Maligne Lake had just a little bit more magic to share.
There's a moose right there. He's got his head under the water, eating. That's awesome. Oh. That's so awesome. I actually saw a big old moose on the way in last night. Saw a big elk too, but a big moose, so that's cool seeing a moose here.
At this point, it started to rain a little bit harder, so I took the opportunity to get fully kitted up and then kept paddling, and eventually I came across another moose.
There's another moose right there. That's awesome.
From here, I said goodbye to my moose and headed back towards the boat launch. Not only does this bring this trip to Spirit Island to a close, but it's also putting the final words into this chapter of my road trip. At this point, I've been in the Jasper Mount Robson area for more than 2 weeks, and after a post-canoe stay at the Miette Hot Springs campsite, I'll be well and truly onto a new phase of my big summer van life road trip. And I hope you come back to see what I can get up to. But as far as today is concerned, that is the end of an epic day trip to Spirit Island.
Well, there we go. We're officially on shore. Canoe is docked. My gear is starting to come out. That was 31 kilometers and 7.5 hours, but that was an awesome paddle. One of my favorite paddles I've ever done. I like the distance, the scenery. That was just awesome. Totally changed the day. Well, that being said, we're on to the next one. Peace.